I don't know what bait to pick today. Do I go with Slim Shakes, big old swim worm, Flukes, paddle tail, Senko? I believe I can help you guys out. If you don't know what bait to pick this fall, well, I can tell you some. We're almost at 7,000 followers on TikTok. We're almost at 1,000 followers on Instagram, and we're almost at 500 subscribers on YouTube. So it would mean a lot to me, guys, if you guys can go help. It's all Seb's Big Bites. We're going to be having a giveaway once we hit 1,000 followers on Instagram and 500 subscribers on YouTube. So, for the beginning of this video, I want to talk about the differences between spring and fall, okay? So, the fish have a little bit of different patterns, I should say. They're not necessarily feeding on different things, but they have a different pattern where they're going to be. So, number one, in the spring, their fish are going to divide off after the spawn, go deep, or go into lots of cover in shallow water. In the fall, these fish are going to move to deeper water and look for more of those corners and rocks and stuff like that, where these bait fish are going to be. My biggest tip to you guys is to mimic bait fish. I know bait fish are very, very effective. You will catch some very big fish and also worms, okay? Some of these bigger bass are looking for bigger baits because they don't want to work as hard. They want to get the most out of their meal as they can, so upgrade your size and baits. I am actually wanting to try out the Alabama rig for the first time because a lot of guys and people say that the Alabama rig is where it's at because it mimics those fish schooling. So, now that I've told you a little bit about the difference between spring and fall fishing, I'm going to show you guys some of the baits that I use most often and catch a lot of fish on. So, we're going to start with bait fish, and then we're going to go to more worm type stuff. Now, during the fall, I do like to stick to bait fish. Now, does that mean I catch more fish on my bait fish, or do I catch more fish on my worms? Okay, so I do catch a fair amount on bait fish, but I am going to say I catch more on fishing worms. That is soft plastic worms, guys. So, number one, I have to say my favorite is a fluke. Okay, these are Kalen's flukes right here. And Kalen's has turned out to be a great brand for flukes for me because they make a bluegill fluke that is absolutely amazing, guys. Has an incredible action. And these flukes, these are just regular flukes. These are called the albino shad. These are great for smallmouth and your big largemouth right there. Those are going to catch you tanks. Number two, paddle tails. Okay, I have two paddle tails right here. I have some Googan Squad saucy swimmers and some suicide shads. Now, as you can see, this is a suicide shad and this is a saucy swimmer. Now, there's a little bite of a difference. The Big Bite Baits suicide shad are super awesome. They have a little more, they're a little more realistic and along the lines of that. So if you are going to go something without like putting it on a swim jig or a jig trailer, I highly recommend the suicide shad. You can put a little bit of a tungsten weight or a lead weight on the front of that, and that will give you an awesome action and an awesome way to fish these guys. I'm going to go over when to fish these kind of after I go through all the bait fish here. Now, for paddle tails like this, I'm really going to just fish them on swim jig trailers and jig trailers. Black and blue, green pumpkin, and white are my favorite jig colors. You can't get any better than that. And fish those right on the back of those paddle tails. They're soft plastics. I know a lot of you guys know a lot about the spinner baits. So another great bait is a spinner bait. Some smaller swim baits. Crank baits. Okay. Straight King Sexy Shad. My number one favorite moving bait in the fall. Different colors, mix the colors up. I painted that guy, and a little jerk bait. So now going through some of these moving baits, your paddle tails, even if they're on a jig trailer, you're gonna want to fish those in deep points. Okay. Now these, if you're just fishing them with a weight, really find where those shad are busting on top of the water. Okay. Throw that in, make some erratic actions with your rod, twitch it, pull it, smack it, you know, all that kind of stuff to get those fish attention. Those fish's attention, and that's how you're going to catch fish. Same thing with the jig, really, and swim jig. These two are great bait. They are. Now, as we're moving on to the worms, my top favorite worms are Googan Squad Slim Shakes on a drop shot, actually. Cut them right behind the Googan, fish them on a drop shot, works great. Or fish them on a shaky head. That's the best way to fish these worms right there. Rip and tail worms work really well too. Shaky heads and stuff like that. So right there, Senkos. Guys, you know, Senkos are the saviors of fishing. Like, if you're not catching squat, these things will catch you fish. Green pumpkin, black flake in 5, or I really like them in 5-inch, but if you fish them in 4-inch, you'll catch just as many fish. And especially, it is an important thing too. If you guys are not catching anything, downsize just a little bit. It will make a difference. Black and blue big bite baits swim worms. Now these are great. Just hopping them off the bottom, guys. Just hop them off the bottom. If you have any kind of electronics or you have a map on your phone, look where the contour lines are. Find the drop-off points. Where there's weeds or rock or sand, any of that change in structure on the bottom is where you're going to want to take, like fishing with a tungsten weight, a lead weight, shaky head. That's how you're going to fish these guys. Now, as for the Senkos, you guys know I like my Senkos weightless. Fish these weightless rocks, long vegetation, pretty much the same thing you would, where you would fish the swim worms, or just any kind of change is where I like to fish my Senkos, and it works very well. Texas rigged or wacky rigged is the way to go with these guys, and guys, that's how I would fish them. I basically said how I'd fish these. Anywhere there's types of change or anything like that, pretty much the same as these guys. Fish them with a drop shot, fish them with a, just fish them anywhere you'd fish a shaky head or a drop shot, any kind of thing like that. So guys, I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys for sticking through and watching this video. Remember, we are going to be having some giveaways. 1,000 subscribers or followers on Instagram. You're making my dreams come true. So I can't thank you guys enough. You guys all have a great day. Have a great night. And I hope this helps. Go get them, guys.